on your man, homie. Ah, I tried to sneak through the door, man. Can't make it. Can't make it. The shit's stuck. Out of my way, son! Door stuck! Door stuck!
Welcome to Demasked. My name is Fresman, and today I'm joined by Slumber Reads. How are you today?
I am doing pretty good.
That's good to hear. So, I was looking through some of your videos, and you mentioned that you've been on YouTube for around 6 years?
Yep. Yeah, 6 years. It'll be 7 on April 19th
Oh, nice.
of next year. So 6.5.
Nice. So that'd be what, 2015?
Yep.
Nice. I started September of 2016, if I recall.
Oh, nice. That's quite a long time.
Yeah. Especially, looking back, it's like, oh, it was only 5 years ago.
Yeah, no, it's like it's always once you start putting it in perspective, it's like, oh geez, it's been a while.
Well, I wanted to do something for the 5-year anniversary, but I completely missed it.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't do anything special for mine either.
I wanted to do like a thank you or something like that, but then I went and checked the date, and it was like, oh yeah, September 28th of 2015, and it's like October 2nd when I looked. I'm like, oh. I mean, I guess better late than never, I suppose.
Hell yeah.
So, did you originally start as a narration channel, or did you start somewhere else and sort of move into horror?
So, interestingly enough, I always wanted to start up a channel, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do on there. So, moving back into early 2015, I was in this Call of Duty team, and they wanted to move into content creation. So they told me that in order to hold a roster spot, I had to make a YouTube channel. So I did, and then I posted like a couple montages, and then I moved into like funny life stories. They were completely improv, complete BS. But I was very open about it. Like I always made it very clear, like I am just making stuff up. It's just entertainment. And in one story, I mentioned sleep paralysis. So people were like, "Oh, you should do some scary stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, that might be fun." So I told some of my actual sleep paralysis stories. Like instead of making anything up, it was like legitimate, real sleep paralysis stories. And the video did super, super well. So I started getting requests to do more of them. And so I kind of ran through all of my personal stories. And then I started doing like my personal ghost stories. And then I was like, I don't have anything left. So I started writing short stories. And I wrote this short story called Wrong Road. And when I posted it to my channel, it was like the first like fictional piece I had done in like the horror realm. And it got, I want to say like 50 or 60,000 views. And so all of a sudden I had an audience for like short form narration. So somebody was like, you should open up an email. I was like, okay, yeah, we can do that. So I opened up an email and people started sending in stories. And then I found out about the narration community and I was like, oh, this is already a thing. Like I am not pioneering anything. And just been doing it ever since.
Now, would you ever go back to the Call of Duty montages?
Probably not. I still really enjoy gaming, but not like not for like content. Not as much anyway.
That's fair. That's fair. Now, here's the true question. What's your favorite game?
Probably currently Dead by Daylight for sure. I got New World last night and I've been completely addicted to it. I played all night last night and all day today.
Is New World any good? I haven't heard anything on it.
I would say so. I think it's a lot of fun.
Okay. That's relieving to hear, because like all I saw on Twitter was, "Hey, New World's coming out," and then just followed by dead silence.
Yeah, my experience with MMOs doesn't go much deeper than like Destiny.
Hmm.
So, I would say if I enjoy it, anybody who's like actually experienced with MMOs probably would. But then again, maybe not. Maybe that means the exact opposite. I don't know.
You heard it here first, folks. New World sucks. No.
If Terra thinks it's good, it's probably trash.
It's opposite day. Surprise. No, I've tried my hand at MMOs. There've been a couple that I've stuck to. Like I had a hard time getting into, World of Warcraft or EverQuest. Uh Weirdly enough, really like DC Online.
I haven't heard of that one. I mean, I know what
It,
DC is, but I don't think I've ever like I didn't know that there was an MMO for it.
yeah, it's DC Universe Online. It's on Steam, but the amount of obscure superheroes that show back up, not because of the game developers, but people making their own characters, it's it warms my heart.
I think the other one I've been seeing a lot of is what's it called, like Genshin Impact or something. It's like all anime themed.
Mm, yeah, I haven't tried that one, although I don't know. I don't know if I want to. Now, you mentioned, you said Dead by Daylight, you said?
Mhm.
Now, God, I need to get back into that. Also, I fully intend on taking you up on that one. It was 1v2 in Nuketown.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Are you sure you want to do that?
Yes.
Which Call of Duty were we talking about?
Personally, I only have Black Ops 2 on my PC.
Okay.
I don't know if you have that one.
I have it for the Xbox, but I would be willing to get it on PC just to prove a point.
J- just to stomp out a talk show host. You know what? That would be a difficult interview if we were doing this and fighting at the same time.
Nah, I think we could handle it.
So what do you do on your channel? God damn it. Now, do you have a favorite Call of Duty is the question.
Yeah, Black Ops 2 for sure. It's like it's not even a debate.
That's fair.
Black Ops 2, I have so many memories on that game. I
Oh,
I was one of
what's
those
up?
people, I didn't stop playing it until like 2018.
Hmm.
So by the end of it, I had like 400 days played or something like that.
Oh my god. Well, oh, so I grew up in a house where like we always kind of picked up the newest Call of Duty,
Mm-hmm.
but the problem was I didn't play the multiplayer. I only played the storyline.
That's rough. Yeah, I don't know. Some of the Call of Duties they have decent storylines, but they're not $60 storylines.
I think the only one, in my opinion, that has a $60 storyline is like Modern Warfare 2, because it has
Eh,
soap.
yeah, I could probably get behind that. Call of Duty 4's storyline was really fun as well.
Hmm. I especially like the that whole moment where the nuke gets dropped and you have to like crawl through the rubble. Ugh.
I remember Call of Duty Ghosts had a decent storyline too, if I remember right.
Somebody brought up a point. I think it was from Modern Warfare 2 and Ghosts share like the same animations for an entire cutscene.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's like a lot of these AAA titles, they just recycle. It's usually just the same thing over and over, which I guess isn't all bad because like you think about it, how long has CS:GO been around without like I mean there's been changes, but not anything too terribly drastic. Then you think about
Mm.
Call of Duty and it's like they release a new one every year, but it's kind of still the same thing.
Mm. And then there team-based games like Team Fortress 2 that's been around for what 12, 13 years and it's still going strong.
Yeah, yeah.
The community's weird, but it's still there.
I've never played that one. I'm well aware of what it is. I heard about it after playing Overwatch, and I was told it was a lot like Overwatch. And I'm like really, really bad at Overwatch, like laughably bad. So, 80 game that anybody compares to Overwatch, I'm just like, yeah, probably not. Except for Valorant. Valorant's a lot of fun.
It in my opinion, it's better than Overwatch.
Do you play Valorant
Like,
at all?
I haven't given it a shake, and I'm not even really sure where to get it. Is it on Steam?
It's Riot.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Because I have sort of the Bethesda launcher Origin, that sort of big three sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I might give Valorant a shake, maybe. Although I do want to get back into Counter-Strike.
Yeah, CS:GO is interesting. I'm not super good at CS:GO. I only just started playing not even a month ago. But
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe this isn't the best thing to say on air, but the community, at least
Oh
from
yeah,
what
it
I've
sucks.
seen, is pretty bad. It's pretty
Yeah, it's
awful.
awful.
Yeah. Like I mean, I don't know. Like I'll be in voice chat like, "Hey, let's plant B." And everybody's like, "Oh, what the fuck is wrong with you?" Like it's like, "Okay, all right."
So,
So I
so I
usually get a free pass to just roast people, which I
Yep.
guess isn't too bad. It's not too bad. But
I
it's like sometimes I just want to play the game. Like, come on.
I have a test that I run for every multiplayer game, and it's a question that I ask at the beginning of a round that determines who I'm playing with. And the question is, how is everybody doing today? And a lot of times, especially in Counter-Strike, we'll start a round and I go, "Hey, how's everybody doing?" And it's almost immediately followed by "fuck you." I'm like, "All right, cool. Yep."
Yeah. No, it's rough, especially like I'm still in the very early stages of working on my voice, like very early stages.
Mm.
Like today I've been talking all day, so my voice is very shot currently. But
Mm.
yeah, like trying to use the voice chat on CS:GO is just bad cuz either like I'm like pinpointing it very very well and then everybody is just sexist, or I'm not and everybody is transphobic. Like there's no winning. It's terrible.
I mean, that's the thing about CS:GO. It doesn't matter who you are. There's no winning.
Yeah, that's probably very true. I think maybe just no matter what, unless you're
I
just playing
oh
in a 5-man or something.
well, it's funny because that same sort of litmus test that I described, I've been using on an older first person game, Day of Defeat,
Okay.
and it's a World War II like capture the flag sort of deal, and I went on there and I typed into the text chat, I'm like, "Hey, how's everybody doing?" And then I just waited for the response, and people were like, "I'm doing good today. How are you?" I'm like, "Wait, wait a minute. People aren't awful here. Wait a sec."
I love trolling on video games though. It's one of my favorite things to do. Um like on New World it's an MMO. So last night I was in the server chat and I was like, "Why does it feel like all I'm doing is farming materials?" And people were like, "That's the point." And I'm like, "This is nothing like Call of Duty. This game's bad."
Oh yeah, that's an old favorite of mine. When do we call in an airstrike? And I'm playing like playing Day of Defeat, where it's just like M1 Garands.
Yeah, this game ripped off Sonic the Hedgehog. It's terrible.
How do I do a Fortnite dance?
This game would be
Oh,
much better if you could build like Fortnite.
Oh. Or you're playing Halo and it's like, look, it's Master Chief from Fortnite. Oh no.
That's so funny.
Well, that like I personally don't play Fortnite because I feel like that the community, much like Counter-Strike, is garbage.
Sure. I haven't played since season 5. I really enjoyed Fortnite when it first came out. I'm not sure why I quit playing. I think it just got a bit too ridiculous. Both like the game itself and just like how good people were getting. Like it went from like gunfights to just who could build a castle faster. And I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe that's for some people. For me, it just doesn't mesh.
Well, that and I personally don't like the base building aspects of it. Like I think it's a neat implementation, but it's not my thing. And the last time I played it, I was living with roommates, and we were essentially all playing it because it was a free game that we could all play on our separate systems.
Right.
And all of my roommates are building forts and ramps and all this, and I'm sneaking through the grass, not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm more of a stealth guy.
Yeah, it's interesting how I think especially lately we're seeing more and more games that have skill gaps due to like random implementations. Like Splitgate with its portals, I think is really really unique and really cool, and there's definitely a huge gap between the people who know how to use the portals and the people who don't. So I think as much as people like to talk down on Fortnite for a lot of very good reasons, I think Fortnite kind of helped introduce the like non-linear way of playing a FPS game. I guess Fortnite's not FPS, it's not first person, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where there's other things at play. It's not just about who can pre-fire a corner. It's more about who can like tactically win the gunfight. So for that reason, I think that's pretty unique and pretty cool.
See, I'm old school. I like Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, where the most, how do I word it? The most, what's the term? Like how there's base building in Fortnite, the main mechanic of Half-Life 2 Deathmatch is like you can sprint. And you can sprint and shoot at the same time. Figure it out, you know?
Yeah, that's one thing that throws me off about CS:GO and Valorant is if you're moving and shooting, nothing connects. Unless the enemy's doing it, then it does.
Oh yeah, then they have a laser.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what do you mean? I was aimed right at your head.
And remember, you're only hacking if you're good at the game.
Right, yeah. You know you've like officially made it when somebody calls you a hacker.
There's a wonderful series by a channel called Lazy Purple, who covers the Team Fortress 2 classes. And he's talking about the sniper, which kind of requires really good timing. And he gets accused of hacking. It's like, how could you hit an unknown target that well? And he goes and replays the footage. He goes, maybe it's because you were standing completely still in the open.
Yeah. I used to be really good at Call of Duty. I used to like play for wagers and everything. So I don't know. I just remember anytime you get that Xbox Live message of like quit hacking, it's like they think I'm really good.
You're right. I am good at this game. Oh man. See, I miss that because I have an Xbox One. I haven't played it in about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But I miss that sort of, what's it called? The anticipation of you just stomping some poor goofball, and then the so-and-so has sent you a message. Oh, great. What's it going to say this time?
Yeah, I completely switched over to PC gaming in December of last year. And it's very interesting because I think my experience on Xbox was always just everything is moderately toxic. Like it's never super bad, but it's never really good either. It's like a very passive toxic. But I've noticed on PC, it's like it's always extreme one way or the other. Like I can get into a Valorant lobby where everybody is just talking about life and having fun and like we're trying to win, we're making call outs, but it's just completely relaxed. And then my next lobby can just be the worst piece of crap I've ever played in my life. It's I don't know, it's interesting. It's just an observation I've seen.
Well, that's why I like playing, the older FPS games, because those are filled with people that have been there essentially since the game came out. And thankfully, a good amount of them aren't elitist about it. It's not like, you're not good enough to play this. It's just sort of, hey, man, let's capture that flag.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, question for you.
Shoot.
What would be your ideal first-person shooter?
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to have to narrow it down. I am not a huge fan of things that take place in the past, but I do like gritty. I'm also not a big fan of things that take place in the future.
Okay.
I like modern stuff. I like there to be like a very subtle bit of like relatability. So
Sure.
I would say something modern, but I guess like my main thing that I like in a video game is sniping. Like especially just FPSs in general. So I guess as long as the game's sniping is fun, I'm all for it. Something modern and with good sniping. That's my answer.
Fair enough. Well, then what would... it's going to become a pattern, but Team Fortress 2's got some pretty good sniping. In fact, they have different sniper rifles to suit different needs.
I've got it. Modern Warfare 2 without one-man army and noob tubes. The perfect game.
I feel like I just got transported back to 2010 all of a sudden. I'm home.
I remember seeing this meme on Twitter. I've seen it quite a few times. They were like, everybody should have to play an hour worth of MW2 before making any account online anywhere. And yeah, I think so. I think people get upset about things really, 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 really easily. Which sometimes is warranted. Sometimes it is. But like I don't know, the old days of Modern Warfare 2 and Halo 3 were so bad. They were awful.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, speaking of Halo, I miss that sort of camaraderie that Halo Reach gave everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had people that would either do, Forge World or Deathmatch, and then you had that, that team of buddies that you would go do, like, the legendary run for the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And I miss that. I miss that so much.
Yeah, I feel like Halo Reach was super underrated. Halo Reach was really polarizing. There were people that really liked it and people that really hated it. I think a lot of people, they look back on Halo 3 as like the perfect game, which it was good. Like Halo 3 was, I mean, more than good. It was amazing. But personally, I think Halo Reach was the best one out of all of them.
That's a fair point. I like Reach, and I miss ODST. I actually really like ODST.
ODST offered like a whole different perspective on the Halo world, which was pretty cool.
Well, that and it answers a question that doesn't get asked that often when in regards to the Halo universe, which is what does all of this look like to a regular person?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you're the film Fall of Reach, in which Lasky is a idiot.
Yeah, it was cool how Halo like the storytelling was so basic because it really was just a so what's the term I'm looking for? It's kind of like Doom. It's just shooting things. There's not really like I guess where I'm going with this, Halo didn't have a whole lot of time to build a storyline. Because it was just like cutscenes here and there. But yet the storyline is so in depth and so good off of just like a basic premise. And I mean, well, it's detailed in different ways, but I just think it's cool. Like even look back at Halo 1 and what was coming out around that time. Like how in depth the storyline was for Halo, despite the fact that it was just a cutscene run and shoot game.
Now, you mentioned Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's opened a Pandora's box.
Uh-oh.
Which Doom?
Newest one for sure. I gotta be that girl. I'm sorry.
There's no problem there. That's Doom Eternal's amazing. Well, no, I was having flashbacks to a discussion I had with a previous coworker of mine who had no clue about any of the Doom games in terms of like the overarching story. And yeah.
Oh,
What's
sorry.
that?
I was just gonna say, like, I'm really excited to see where video games are gonna be going in the future, because
Oh yes.
like how much better technology is getting so fast. I really want to see VR get perfected.
I like VR, but I feel like there's a point. How do I put it? I feel like there's a point where there should be a cutoff in terms of VR technology, but then that stopping point should be perfected, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd like to see a day and age where everybody just has like a designated room in their house just for VR.
Like a Ready Player One scenario?
Yeah. I think that'd be so cool. Or like a Sword Art Online type of scenario.
Oh god. I don't know about that one.
I mean, without the being stuck in the video game part.
Yeah, I was gonna say you are now locked in the game. Like, I don't know if I wanna
Are you sure? Like, can I just leave?
I could just pull the headset off. No, it's attached to your brain. Like, no. So, have you seen the Ready Player One movie?
I have not.
There's some for all of the, fantasy technology of the future and whatnot. There's one thing in that film that I cannot believe, no matter how much the film wants me to. And that is people using those VR headsets with their windows open.
How come?
Because like one person's like having a fist fight, and then like the camera pans up and like somebody's dancing on a stripper pole. Like, anybody can just walk by and just watch you do that, and you have no clue that you're being observed, and that creeps me out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's a solid point. I remember so this is a pretty like wild story. So it was roughly 5 or 6 years ago. So somewhere around there. I was staying inside of a garage, and we had this window um that was maybe, I would say, like 3.5, 4 feet off the ground, and my bed was right underneath it. Well, I didn't have AC or anything, so I would oftentimes sleep with the window open.
Mm.
So one night I'm sleeping there, and all of a sudden I see this like shape coming over top of me,
Mm.
and I freak out, and I just start like punching at it and kicking at it and like trying to push whatever it is back out the window because I could tell it was coming in from the window. And what it was, somebody was trying to rob the garage, not knowing that I was like living in there. Yeah, it was pretty creepy.
Jeez Louise. I oh so I used to sleep in a garage as well. But we didn't have the window, but what we did have was an entire door that led outside. Like not the big garage door, like a regular like house door.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd leave that open. And it wasn't a person that got in, but it was a cat.
Oh no.
And how do I word it? I would have rather it been feral, because at least I can understand like that problem, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind, at the time there are no cats in this house. We had like 4 dogs. And I go to walk back out into the garage from being in like the kitchen, and there's just a black long-haired cat just sitting on my bed staring back at me. I'm like, yeah? Can I help you? I don't have any food. And it just like quietly stared at me for a minute, and then just got up and calmly walked out the door and into the night. I'm like, I guess I'm closing that from now on.
You have to respect cats, though. They're just like, the world is my home. I can go wherever I want.
Well, I mean, if you're like my cat Sterling, who's been observing me during this entire interview, anywhere I am apparently is now his resting spot.
That's funny. That's a lot like my dog Willow. Dogs and cats are both so funny because it's like all you have to do is stand up, and your dog is just like, you know what, you crazy son of a bitch, I'm in. Like they just want to follow you around.
Well, Sterling here, so I made sure they had food and water before this, because he has a habit of slapping his food and water bowl around the minute he's hungry or thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
But in the time that we've started recording, I've been quietly fighting him because he keeps trying to jump on top of my PC tower up into my lap, and then he keeps like headbutting my audio interface.
Mm-hmm.
And I should mention my cat can't really jump per se. What he does is he'll sit up on his back legs, put his front paws on your leg, and then try to do a pull up with his claws.
Oh no.
So I'll be looking at the screen, and then I see two little white paws hit my leg. I'm like, no, no. Right, Sterling. One of these days, I'll interview you on my show. Fine, Sterling. You can sit in my lap. Say hello. Say hello.
Everybody knows that cats and dogs just equal views.
Well, so he's picked up this habit of like love bites,
Mm-hmm.
but he does it at random intervals. There's no warning. So he'll like, headbutt your hand and then bite you and then keep headbutting your hand.
That's funny. Yeah, my dog, like she doesn't really know what it's like to be like snapped at. So, it's like if she's doing something wrong, I'll be like, "Willow, no, stop." Like if she's getting into something that might hurt her or something, And she'll just look at me like, "Mom, are we playing?" Like there's just no way to get her to take me serious.
What kind of dog is it?
She is a black lab and pit mix.
That's a big dog.
Yeah, so she's full of energy and like super affectionate.
And strong, I bet.
Yes, very, very.
Thankfully, Sterling here is a large cat, but he's very heavy and can't jump high.
That's funny.
Well, it ensures that nothing on my shelves will get knocked off because he can't get up there. But then he makes up for it by clawing me in my sleep. Right, Sterling. Ah!
I heard the mic
respond-
resonance from that. That was funny.
He responded by, like, doing a full 180 and clawing me in the chest.
This is my interview now.
Meow as much as you want, Sterling. You're staying on the floor for the rest of this interview. I usually try to do that to, like, teach him it's not okay to, leave cuts on my arm.
Yeah.
Oh, he's giving me the stink eye now. I see you. But oh my goodness. Now, are you more of a dog person?
I don't know if I have much of a preference. I just really like animals just in general. But yeah, right now I have a dog, and then I'm staying with my dad currently, and he has a couple cats and a couple dogs. So I don't know. I like both, but I like the fact that if I'm going for a run in the morning or something, like Willow is just always down to come with. You can't really do that with a cat.
I mean, I could get him a harness.
True.
Or put him in a pod or something. Death Stranding, that stuff.
But yeah, I don't know. I take Willow like everywhere with me, like literally everywhere.
The more I think about that, I want that. I want a pod for my cat.
A pod?
Have you played Death Stranding at all?
No, I haven't.
you essentially carry around a baby in a pod, and I want that, but it's just my cat. Although I do hear that they do sell backpacks that allow you to do that, like hard shell backpacks,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a window that your cat can see out of.
I wonder if that's something that most cats would even enjoy. Because I feel like a lot of cats are just very irritable.
I'm getting mixed messages from Sterling as I'm talking about it. He's just staring me down.
He's like, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to test this one.
I feel like he's just gonna be like, "Are you gonna put me in a pod?" Now, here's a question: what is your favorite animal? Doesn't have to be a domesticated animal. It could be wild, exotic. Favorite of all time.
Oh, man. I think it would just have to be narrowed down to cats and dogs. I think
Fair point.
I think maybe I lean like 55% dog, 45% cat.
Okay.
I mean, just between the two.
Well, this is outside of Tibet. I'm more of a cat person, I'd say, as of late. I like both, but I lean more towards cats
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have to walk them every 45 minutes. I'm lazy like that. But what's it called? I like pandas.
Yeah, pandas are pretty cool. I've heard that they're very aggressive, which surprises me.
I don't doubt it, but I just like how their day consists of just hanging out, eating, and kind of rolling around until they fall asleep again.
I wish that could be me.
Exactly.
Actually,
I know, right?
actually, that is me.
Have you seen the zookeepers that go and take care of the pandas?
No, I haven't.
Apparently, some of them dress up as pandas, and then they get like cuddled by them.
Oh no.
I want that job. What do I have to do to get that job?
Day 3. They still don't know I'm not one of them.
They haven't heard me making interviews. Welcome to Demasked. Today's guest is this panda. I don't know.
I've always thought wolves are really cool, but I feel like that's a super basic answer.
Well, I mean, it depends. How many Wolf Moon shirts do you own?
None. I just own a lot of crop tops.
Well, I mean, I think then that works then.
But I do
You know?
have a wolf tattoo on my arm.
That's fine. As long as it's not like the, tap out Ed Hardy wolf howling at the moon t-shirt.
Oh no. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
You just double down, just like, ew.
No, I was thinking about leaning into it and being like, oh, that's the tattoo. But it's not. It's not.
It's right above the screaming eagle holding the American flag, and then the clawing panther right below it. Man, I want to get a tattoo. I've been thinking about that for some time.
Do you have any?
Not yet, but I like the idea of getting like symbols, not pictures, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. When I first started getting tattoos, so I want to say either 13 or 14. And my friends and we took some tattoo ink, and then we took a bobby pin and gave each other tattoos. So My first tattoo was a oh, which one was it? I want to say it was the like I have a Japanese fire symbol on my left forearm
Hmm.
and it's upside down, which is pretty unfortunate. But yeah, we weren't really sure if they were going to stick, but it's been over a decade now and it did. So that
There
happened.
you go. I I there's one tattoo I have in mind that I really badly want to get, but I know it would take some time for it to get done.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what do you want to get?
So it would be it's a circular symbol, but it wouldn't be huge. I'd say about maybe 2 inches in diameter.
Okay.
But the symbol of the Necronomicon from H.P. Lovecraft.
Necronomicon. I'm gonna look this up really quick. You got my curiosity peaked.
Yeah, symbol of the Necronomicon. It's got a whole lot of lines.
Okay. What does that stand for?
It at least in Lovecraft lore, the Necronomicon houses like all of the names of like the old gods and the weird Cathagas and all this, like the outer gods and all that. But the Necronomicon is sort of the main book that contains all of that.
Okay. You should get it.
I just might.
You should. You should. I think it would look good.
And I want to get it like that on that spot. If you look at your own forearm, it's that like the inside of the elbow, but not where the crease is, just like right on the forearm.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I got my first tattoo. The one I was just telling you about.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna get a tattoo of my own face. I'm gonna get like the Steve-O. It's my own portrait on my back.
Get your name written on your butt cheek. Like literally
No.
the words your name.
I'm a big fan of the anime. Your Name.
Ooh, what's your favorite anime? I'm turning this interview around on you.
That I'm totally cool with that. I like. I'm a big fan of like fighting anime, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like your JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Gurren Lagann, that sort of thing. Big
Okay.
ridiculous fights.
Yeah, I haven't seen JoJo, but I see people talk about it all the time. And I feel like I'm kind of failing at life by not having seen it because I feel like I've watched pretty much everything, like including the stuff
Hmm.
that people don't really know about. So the fact that I
The
haven't seen that one is bad.
the best way I could sell it to you is that it's really dumb, but that's the point.
That sounds up my alley.
There you go. Well, because apparently that's a complaint from some people. It's like, oh, it looks really ridiculous. Like that's the entire point.
Well, yeah, it's the thing is, I think sometimes people they like rather than looking for stuff that they like, they try to look for things that they want in things that they already know aren't going to provide it. It's like going
Sure.
back to video games. It's like you don't download an MMORPG expecting like a Call of Duty experience.
You wouldn't download a car. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It's yeah, it's like going to a car dealership and asking for I don't know, a sandwich or something.
Do you guys serve lobster here?
Like they might have it, but they're probably not going to give it to you.
If they do get it for you, they're going to be very upset. I how do I word it? I'd say my favorite all-time anime would have to be Gurren Lagann.
I haven't seen that one either.
It falls into the same vein as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I would argue on a larger scale. And I don't mean in terms of like story beats. I mean a physically larger scale.
I think the last one I watched that I was really into was Akame ga Kill. I mainly look for animes that have some type of horror element. Surprisingly enough, I know that might surprise you, but I like really anything that just has like that subtle hint of horror. Always piques
Have
my
you seen
interest.
Higurashi?
That sounds familiar. I feel like you are naming like the only animes I haven't seen. What is it called?
Higurashi, I believe it's also called When They Cry.
Oh,
But it's like an anthology series.
yeah, I've seen bits and pieces. Yep.
I like it. It's pretty good. It's weird, but I like it.
Yeah, I watched the first episode of this a while back, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. And then I rewatched it. I kind of like binged through it, but I was very stoned. So I don't really remember much.
So I take it you're a weed person.
Yeah. I mean,
Same
subtly. I don't make it like a focal point or anything, but I do
Sure.
like to smoke, yeah.
For me, it's like an end of night thing. Like, am I doing anything else today? No. Okay, let's
Yeah, no, I'm very much the same way. It's either like when I wind down for the night or when I know for sure I have nothing else going on for the rest of the night. Like if I'm
Mhm.
gonna be playing some video games or something. I have a rule where I won't smoke if the sun is up. Unless I'm with friends who are also smoking. Then I will.
That's a fair point. For me, it's don't go out in public.
Yeah, I know some people like they'll smoke and then they'll drive somewhere, and I have never understood that. Like
see, a buddy of mine does that, but he does it well. Is the interesting thing.
they always do.
Like I've watched him like have one hand on the steering wheel and then like a pipe in his mouth and then trying to like light his lighter at the same time.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
me it's like I'm a nervous driver even when I'm completely sober. So even just the idea of trying to drive while being high, no way. Not a chance.
So I like edibles. I don't have them that often, but I made the mistake of having an edible that I thought was weaker than it was and then going to lunch.
How'd that work out for you?
You know what? It worked out better than you'd think, honestly, because it was a very heavily, and I mean very heavily laced brownie. And my hypothesis was like, I'm a large man, I can eat this and I will be okay. But my tolerance was already like next to nil. And so I ate the whole thing and I walked about 20 to 30 minutes all the way to a restaurant, completely sober. I had lunch, still completely sober. Stood up to go pay the bill, and that's when it hit me.
Yeah, I like edibles, but I don't like the unpredictability of them.
This is also, I believe, the birth of the rule of don't go in public,
Yeah.
which is like, I'm not a very paranoid smoker,
I am.
but there's always that worry, that thought of like, somebody knows, somebody somewhere knows.
Yeah, I remember back in middle school, like I always showed up to school just really high. And I was always so worried that people were going to figure it out, but nobody ever did. So it's like nowadays, it's like, if some random person in public notices that I'm high, like I don't care.
Well, I'm not even worried about that person making a scene or like the cops being called. I just like I have the thought of like they know and then they're going to like tell their friends about it and then that's going to be a whole thing. But granted I'm stoned at the time, so it's a little more dramatic than what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Oh, now question for you: do you use the oil? Which do you prefer, flour, oil, or edible?
Flower for sure. I just like smoking.
Let's say welcome to the weed episode, party people.
I'm all for it. I smoked cigarettes for 13 years. I started when I was 12. Not just as in like, oh, I smoked one every now and again. I thought I was cool. Like, no, I was full on addicted at the age of 12.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so like I always had a really easy time getting cigarettes as well, so that didn't help. But yeah, so earlier this year, back in March, I decided to finally quit. I'm currently 25, so I am now, what would it be, 7 months and 2 days with no nicotine. I didn't even like, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I didn't even pick up like a vape or anything afterwards. Like I've just completely quit.
Cold turkey.
So yeah. Yeah. So like when I get the chance to smoke like a joint or a blunt, it's like definitely because it
Now-
like it satisfies that itch that still remains.
now I assume you're in a state where that's legal.
Absolutely not.
Outlaw.
It's just weed.
I-
Who cares?
Well, I'm in Oregon where dispensaries are as common as Starbucks.
I wish.
Come on down or up, depending on global positioning. But come on down to Oregon. Well, I mainly use a dab pen
Mm-hmm.
because I know that I don't have to use a lot of it to just end my night.
Yeah, dab pens go crazy. Or they can anyway. They can.
Well, a buddy of mine years ago, one of my roommates, he introduced me to the idea of a dab pen. I didn't know they were a thing at the time. And so I thought, oh, since it's oil, it'll be weaker, because I thought it kind of worked like an actual vape. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it'd be less concentrated than the actual flower. So I took like 3 huge hits off of it.
Nice.
See, I'm a calm stoned. I'll just, chill. I become like the hippie stereotype, just like, hey man, what's going on? And I started to lean I guess is the correct term, but just slowly kind of melt to one side. And my roommate's watching me go over. He's like, "You all right?" And I just kind of very calmly go, help me out here, help." But yeah, weed.
Here, one quick second. 1 second.
Yeah.
There's some stuff going on here. 1 second.
Sure thing. Take your time.
I'm back. Sorry about that. I got it marked on my end.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. But yes, weed.
Yes.
What was it? I thought about doing that. There's a place in Portland, my home city, that I love going to, and I want to bring a joint down there and just hang out. But I don't know how well that'd go over.
It'll be fine. I wouldn't even worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, everybody else is doing it, so, like, whatever. Peer pressure. No.
Wait, is it legal there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no issue then.
Yeah. It's, and the place, it's, the waterfront in Portland, which is, like, a huge open park right on the river.
Mm-hmm.
And they have, like, benches and whatnot. I thought about just, like, bringing my phone, my headphones, and a joint, and just, like, sitting on the bench and just relaxing.
Yeah, I remember, like, so here it's illegal. And, I remember flying out to Los Angeles a couple years ago. And the first thing I smelled when I got outside was just weed. And of course, like, I knew it was legal there, but I'm so used to it not being legal where I'm at that the first thing my brain thought was like, who the fuck? So I look over and there's this guy just casually talking to a police officer while smoking a joint. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's so sick. It just blew my mind.
Well, oh god. So the dispensaries here are a lot more clean and clinical than I would have ever thought they would be.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's like walking into a hospital. It's just like sanitary and like shiny, and then there's just rows of jars, and then they're like, what do you want? Like, I don't know what I want.
All of it.
Just give me something. Well, there was one place that I used to go to that had sales all the time. So I'd buy like a big old ounce and then just have that.
I wish it was legal here. It'd make it so much easier.
Well, that's why you gotta head over here.
I think Oregon is like one of the only states I haven't been to. I'm trying to think about it.
Well, there you go.
That, and then Washington, and then Florida, oddly enough. And then Alaska and Hawaii. I haven't been to either of those either.
Hawaii's cool. I went to one of the smaller islands, Kauai. And it's bizarre reading the newspaper there because, like, petty crimes are front page news.
Really? So it's
Yeah.
like not a whole lot of bad stuff happens there?
At least where I was, because we were reading that day's newspaper and it's like, laptop stolen off a front porch. And then, like, I was there with my family, so I turned to my dad and I'm like, where do you go? You're on an island.
Yeah.
Because Kauai's tiny. It's like, what's the plan? I got the laptop now to go where?
Yeah, I had a 1-month trip to Hawaii already completely booked and paid for. And then the COVID pandemic happened.
Oh.
That was a nervous laugh, by the way. But yeah, so I canceled everything, of course.
Yeah. God, yeah. A lot of people's plans got
Oh,
shot with
definitely.
that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not trying to say like, oh, poor me. It's just, no, I was just, it's relevant to the conversation.
You heard it here first, party people. Pity her. Do it.
It's all about me. No.
Free tickets to Hawaii, all paid for.
Yeah. Yeah, I've learned with the internet, sometimes you have to walk on eggshells at times where you really shouldn't have to. Like I could totally see somebody like actually taking that out of context and being like, "Oh, she thinks that's the worst thing to happen out of this." And it's like, "No, it's just okay."
See, that's when you got to do what I do, where you just double down. Like, yeah, it is the worst thing.
I saw this one meme on Twitter, going back to Twitter again. It made me laugh so hard. But this guy, he made a post and he was like, Twitter is the only place where I can make a tweet saying something like, I love pancakes, and somebody will reply saying, so I guess you hate waffles then. And it's like, that's a whole different statement. But the internet really does operate that way. It's like you can say something and then people will take it a totally different way and then run with it.
Well, allow me to throw myself onto the burning pyre that is the internet. Hey, party people, I don't like pancakes.
Waffles are better, though. Waffles are better. I'm just saying.
I've suddenly become Roy Batty at the end of Blade Runner. Time to die. It's over for me.
It's all over. It's all ogre now. Shrek is love.
Shrek is love. I'm crying now, and my face hurts. Now, are you gonna read that on your channel, or should I?
I'd be open to it. I've definitely done
Or
worse.
I can't believe how fast that whole story turns. Have you heard the sequels?
No, I've thought about looking into them, and I've decided that maybe just for the sake of my sanity, I won't.
Oh, so that's where you and I differ. So, I believe you know them as well. Are you aware of Lady Spookaria?
Yes, yeah.
So, Lady likes to call me a masochist.
Okay.
But it's not for physical damage. It's for what I like to call soul damage.
Oh no.
So, the stranger, the cringe, anything like that, I'm just like, yes, give it to me.
What's Fresman up to? Oh, he's just watching another rom-com.
He's somehow laughing and crying at the same time. And one of the questions I hear almost every day, or every time I talk to Lady, is, why are you like this?
Why are you like this? Yeah, it's funny. I like how she's always on Twitter going on about chicken nuggets.
Yep.
It's a good trademark to have.
Hey, man. You have to reconstitute your physical form somehow.
True. Yeah, it's like who's going to get mad at somebody who just wants chicken nuggets? It's the perfect disguise. It's the perfect cover.
I mean, unless the fight starts now with chicken nuggets suck. Hashtag remove chicken nuggets.
Hashtag ban all chicken nuggets.
McDonald's is over party.
Oh no. bad do you think you have to mess up to get a hashtag is over party trending with your name at the front of it?
I mean, Maskino already sent one with my name. and that's because I said the word gamer.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Or as he said it, or as he worded it, the G word with a hard R.
What? It doesn't even make sense. I tweeted out the other day. I was like, I'm not transgender. I'm trans gamer.
I was it years ago. I used to say we're all game men, but if you say it fast enough, we're all gay men.
It's better that way.
It's how things should be.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is how it was meant to always be.
All is as it should be.
It's like people will tell me about the like quote unquote trans agenda, and I'm like, I am literally eating McDonald's cookies in the bathtub. I am not a threat.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't understand that. With like, you know, both like, oh, the trans agenda or the gay agenda. I'm like, what's the plan? Nobody told me the plan. What are we doing?
Yeah, like if there's an agenda, I really want to be in on it. Like I feel so left out.
As a bisexual man myself, I didn't get the fucking memo. What are we doing? What's the mission?
I feel so excluded. Nobody likes me.
Then you have to start doing the like, are you mad at me?
Is it something I said?
Is it something I didn't say? Is it something I will say?
I have like 20,000 tweets, okay? I know I probably said something somewhere, but I didn't mean it.
Then when they find that one thing, you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
I was
Fair
a
enough.
different person. Fake sniffle. Have you
Tweeted
met my dog?
1 day ago. I was a different person back then.
Just have a twit longer that says nothing but oops.
Whoopsie doodle.
Oh, did it again. Oh
It's
my
just
God.
a picture of you shrugging. Oh, I have to get on that. I have to get on that now. Just apologizing for things that just aren't my fault.
Just apologize for everything, and then when you eventually do something wrong, just be like, nope, wasn't me.
I already apologized. What more do you want from me? I have this image in my head of like, you know, severe weather warning for Oregon, and it's just like, I'm sorry, okay?
I didn't mean it.
I gotta do one of those you know, YouTube apology videos. I'm so incredibly sorry.
It was a severe
go-
lapse in judgment.
I gotta go rent out like a mansion to go say sorry in.
Wipe your tears with $100 bills.
I'll wipe my tears with my cat. Oh, that's an image right there.
I guess it's the cheap kibble for us from now on, buddy.
Okay, I guess we'll have to go back to Meow Mix. I'll have to cancel my trip. I'm struggling to think of somewhere I actually want to go.
I've always wanted to go to Tokyo.
You know, I want to go to the Akihabara district.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
It's a whole district, and I believe Tokyo. I probably got that wrong, and somebody's gonna steamroll me in the comments. But It's a whole like district in the city where it's just like video games and anime as far as the eye can see.
Oh. Yeah, now I want to go too.
Well, book your fight. Book your fight. Jesus, book your flight. Let's go.
I'd be so down. I think once it's like acceptable to do so, that's one of my first plans is to go to Tokyo.
I personally, I want to go meet people nearby that I've interacted with on this show. Like, I want to go meet guests in person.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, because I've talked to some people, and they're really close by.
Yeah, pre-pandemic, I used to travel quite a bit. I actually even like lived in a camper for a while and just traveled around. I kind of miss it. Like since the pandemic, I've just kind of stayed put for the most part. I've done a couple of like really safe trips. Like I went to drive through the Appalachians. But it was like a stay in my car and don't interact with anybody kind of trip.
Don't go outside.
Yeah, like I literally just did it just to say that I've done it.
Nice.
Drop my phone.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. It's not cracked, we're good. I don't know about you. It's like whenever you drop your phone, it's like okay.
Oh, so one of my older phones I dropped, and I wasn't even mad because it was totally my fault. I made the dumb decision to balance it on its side on top of a freezer door.
Oh.
And then I opened the freezer. And it did like 8 flips and landed screen first on hard tile.
Oh no.
And I stared at it, and I just had a moment of like, yeah, that's on me. I did that, yeah.
I think the worst one that I have, so do you remember Flappy Bird?
Yes.
Okay. So, I had to have been like 16 or 17 around then, roughly. But so I was over at a friend's house and we had my car in the garage. We thought it'd be a good idea to cut my muffler off. I hate to admit that I was one of those obnoxious teenagers, but I was. So we were sawing the muffler off, and my friend, like was using his phone for light. So when we got done, he set his phone on top of the roof of the car, and he planned on selling the phone because Flappy Bird had just gotten like discontinued from the App Store, and phones that had it were selling for a lot. But he forgot that his phone was up there. So when I left that night, it fell off into the driveway and completely just busted into pieces.
Oh.
Yeah. I want to say, I don't remember for sure, but I think he was going to get like 1,200 for it or something. Yeah. And then he said it was my fault, which I don't really think it was.
No, that's when you gotta turn it around and you're just like, well, if you didn't help me cut off my muffler, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, like, why were you being a good friend? What's wrong with you?
How dare you help me with something? So I never had Flappy Bird, but I had a version of it.
Oh, not Flappy
Flap-
Bird. What was it called? Was it Flappy Bird? No, it wasn't Flappy Bird. Hold on. I should get this right. Was it Flappy Bird?
I think so.
Wait. Hold on. No, yes, it was Flappy Bird. Okay, I'm sorry. I just
all
got
good.
in my head. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, anyway, carry on.
Oh, it's all good. But I had a version of that game called Flap Thulu.
Flap Thulu. Okay, let's hear this.
It's Flappy Bird, but it's an animated sprite of like the head of Cthulhu with wings.
Okay.
But like the background turns into like a swirling neon nightmare as you start to like gain more and more points.
All right.
I miss that game dearly. but people are like, "Oh, I miss Flappy Bird." I'm like, "I miss Flap Thulu."
Yeah, Flap Thulu was better. All the cool people had Flap Thulu.
All the cool kids, because I was the popular one, totally, not the weird nerd kid. Yep. Totally.
Yeah.
I'm looking around shifty-eyed. I don't know if you can tell.
People ask me, they're like, Terra, what were you like in high school? And it's like, I never went. I dropped out at the beginning of 9th grade.
Don't know. I wasn't there.
I wasn't there. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I technically got kicked out.
How come?
But
Actually, I don't know if that's a bad question to ask. I'm sorry.
oh no, the thing is, I wasn't a bad kid. Like I never, smoked on premises or started fights, anything like that. But it was the most BS reason, and I'm still mad about it to this day, because the worst part, I was on track to graduate, is the hardest part to deal with.
Yeah.
But they called me about, I want to say 2 weeks before graduation, and they said, "Hey, you can't be enrolled here because you technically live outside the district."
What? That's bullshit.
Exactly. Mostly because there are people that I went to high school with that live even farther away. And they're like, "Oh, you're outside the district. So sorry." And then it just ended up not being able to graduate thanks to that.
That's so dumb.
Oh yeah.
I'm mad for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna be thinking about that now. That is so stupid.
And they pulled what I considered a coward move, because you know how on weekends there's like nobody at the school.
Sure.
They called on a Friday afternoon so I wouldn't be able to call them back. Just
Yeah, schools will do some shady shit. I remember so in 8th grade, I had really 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 good grades. Like perfect grades. So in 9th grade, they decided to enroll me in a bunch of like college classes. And like that's not the reason why I dropped out, but it was definitely a huge reason why I didn't make any effort to continue with it. Cuz I told them like time and time again, I was like, I don't want to do any of that. Like don't make me do college classes, please. Like I don't want homework. Like the reason why my grades were so good before was because I would get my homework done as quick as possible because I cherish my outside time. Like don't make me do this. But yeah, they did it anyway. Like they didn't really care what I had to say.
Man. So you know how there's that question that gets asked every time there's like a new subject introduced in school, and you even hear it as a joke sometimes, like, when are we ever going to use this? And it my math teacher, I believe she was starting to teach us like pre-calculus, and somebody goes, "When are we going to use this?" And my teacher goes, "You're probably not."
Yeah, it's like, why waste all that time then? I don't get it. Like, I don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-school or anything. I always tell people like graduate. Like, don't drop out. Like, just because I did and things
Yeah.
like I guess worked out for me to some extent. Like, I always preach finish school. But yeah, some of the classes that they teach, like, I mean, I didn't do high school, so I don't know the full extent of how bad it can really be. But even in middle school, I was like, why are we being taught this? Like, for what?
Now, you heard it here first, party people at home. Terra says drop out.
Oh no. You don't need school. Don't do it.
Don't listen to any of your teachers. Don't go to school.
Stay in drugs. Don't do school.
Eat your drugs. Stay in
Preferably,
vegetables.
preferably do your drugs and go to school. That's the way to be. If you can lock down
Oh,
both,
no.
you've perfected life, and everything will be grand.
Oh, if you can do both without getting caught, you're a master of your craft.
Yeah, you can trust me. I'm definitely a good role model, for sure. Some random
See-
chick that just tells horror stories on the internet. Have you ever thought about like how much of a golden standard a lot of YouTubers' opinions are held to for no reason? I was thinking about this just the other day, and it's like I don't know, like a YouTuber will say something, and then so many people will like just take it for like fact, or they'll take it as like their opinion matters on some grand scale, and it's like
Yeah.
they are literally just a random person on the internet. Like, who cares? Like, I think a lot of people, they give me crap for my Twitter presence because my Twitter presence is really bad. But like, I don't care. It's Twitter. Like, I think the moment that I start taking myself serious is the moment I've lost.
Well, if I recall, like the one of my first interactions, or at least seeing your stuff on Twitter, was just like somebody asked you a question that was, I want to say it was offensive. I can't remember what the actual question was, but you like quote retweeted with just like "fuck you," and I'm like, I need to interview this person.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I get it to some extent that a lot of I guess entertainers or whatever, like they try really hard to protect their like image, I guess.
Sure.
And like I understand that and I respect that, but also I'm not gonna do that because I don't care. Like I just want to have fun. I just want to chill and hang out and make bad tweets and tell scary stories and live my life.
I'm here to shit post and have fun. Well, so how do I word it? I'm of the stance, and party people, if you ever take any of my advice, sometimes it's good. Rarely, but it's sometimes. But what I think is important for people to do if they're going to hear the opinions of, their role models, whether it be an actor, YouTuber, social media presence, that sort of thing, is listen to that. Don't follow it, but like hear that opinion or that advice and then sort of do your own research around it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, it's just like, well, Joe Rogan said it, so it must be true. It must be.
Yeah, I don't know how I can elaborate further. I just agree. Like
Yeah.
people just it drives me nuts. Like I don't know. Like I feel like I've made it so clear like what Slumber Reads is and always has been. But yet people still take me so serious. And it's like, no, stop. Like this was never meant to be taken serious. Like when I started my channel, I was a 19-year-old just trying to hold a roster spot on a Call of Duty team, like telling stories about like a time that we got a cop to smoke weed or something. Just totally
Yeah.
bullshit made up stories. Like that was the birth origin of Slumber Reads, was just nonsense. And like, I'm not gonna say that that's still like fully true, but like I'm not a serious person. I'm just not. Like, I just want to have fun and do my own thing. And
Yeah.
like, the thought that there's people out there that might see something I say and then take it as like gospel truth terrifies me. It's like, no.
Now, are you telling me that you technically have an agenda?
If I had an agenda, what would it be? I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
If I had an agenda, I think my agenda would be convincing the world that frozen pizza is bad so that I can buy more frozen pizza for myself.
Now, you're going to have to fight me on that one because I'm a disgusting heathen when it comes to, to frozen pizza.
What is your favorite frozen pizza? You know what? Not even just that. What is the best frozen pizza if you take in the price to taste ratio?
Okay. All right. But I'm going to need you to hear me out because I know that there are opinions on preferred ways of cooking it.
Sure.
So hear me out. It oh god, I can't believe I'm going to because I actually don't think I've ever brought this up on YouTube. Supreme Totino's Pizza, the square ones, the party pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
But then you microwave it. But then oh god. So I normally don't put ranch on pizza.
You're losing me, Fresman.
I feel like I'm gonna lose my entire subscriber base with this, but I don't I don't dip it in ranch. I do a light drizzle and then I fold it in half and eat it like it's a taco.
Okay. So
It contains the mess and I don't have to cut it.
sure. See, the part that gets me. So, like, I don't like ranch, but I understand that there's people that do. So for that reason, I'll let that part go.
Okay.
But why the microwave?
I knew that was going to be a problem. I knew it. The minute
This is a very serious conversation.
well, like, oh no, you don't understand. The second you said frozen pizza, I'm like, oh shit.
Oh no.
I'm like, somebody's gonna be mad at me. But how do I word it?
Now, before anybody thinks that I'm pizza shaming, I just want you to know that I absolutely am. Okay, carry on.
As I should be. I should be shamed. Hashtag Fresman is over party. It's harder to fold if it's crispy.
Okay.
And it's easier to get into my body if it's not crispy.
I guess I can respect it.
Like I said, I am a heathen.
I mean, I did say price to taste ratio, so I'll let it slide. I'll let it go. Price to test ratio excluded. What's the best frozen pizza? Or is it still the same answer?
I would say it's still the same answer because for some reason to me at least, and like everybody's taste is different.
Sure.
But those big circular pizzas always taste weird to me. Like the crust tastes funny.
I agree. I agree. I would
Now,
say for
now
okay, carry on. My bad.
I would say I'm gonna turn that back on you. What's yours?
I would say I am a major fan of Red Baron.
Okay.
I like Red Baron. Some people will make the point that like the crust tastes like razor blades. Um, and
Delicious razor
and
blades.
that the like because it's got a slight spice to it. It's
Mm.
not like I wouldn't call Red Baron spicy, but it does have a slight spice. But when you mix like crust that cuts the roof of your mouth and spice, I can see why a lot of people don't like it, but I do.
It tastes like razor blades.
Yes.
Scrumptious, delicious razor blades.
Yes.
Now, so I'm assuming that your preferred cooking method is the oven, unless you're
So
using like the sun.
so no, I have a pizza oven, like just a pizza like it's just designated for pizza and pizza only.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so it like I don't have to preheat it or anything. It basically cooks it underneath the same method as like a toaster.
Sure.
Yeah, so it makes it like perfectly, and I think it's far better than an oven. And I know you might not agree, but definitely a microwave.
You know what? Fine.
No, you know what though? I was actually going to say I respect the microwave method because preheating an oven is annoying. I think it's a major waste of time. Like I'm so used to the pizza oven that like if I'm in a situation where I don't have a pizza oven, I'm like there's not even a point.
You know, I'm happy neither of us answered, I just eat it frozen.
I had a friend who used to do that.
Oh, I once did that with, I want to say it was like chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders aren't bad frozen to be honest.
Well, it was in that, like, that middle stage where they've been, like, left out for a couple minutes.
Oh.
So they still have the frost, but they're not a solid piece.
Yeah. Have you ever had ramen noodles without actually cooking the ramen noodles?
I have, but I can't say that I enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I used to do that a lot when I used to have this one job. It was basically like repairing houses.
Uh-uh.
So we never really had much time for lunch, and we definitely didn't have any methods of like I don't know. At most jobs, you can put your food in like a fridge or something, or something along those lines. But on that job, it's like, well, our food was just in a hot truck. So I would oftentimes take ramen noodle packets and then I would crush them up and then I'd put the seasoning in it and then I'd like shake it up and then I'd eat it out of the bag like they were chips.
You know what? That's fair. I can see that.
Yeah, it's decent. I would never do it again though, because it's one of those things where I did it so much that now the thought of it makes me sick. But I used to like it quite a bit.
So I used to make top ramen, and it it was good for the time, but I don't think my body can handle it anymore. Where it's like you cook it and then you mix in the sauce packet with minimal water, so it's like very concentrated.
Uh-huh.
And then you put in a square of butter and let that melt in and mix in. It's delicious, but my body can't take it anymore.
What is your absolute favorite unorthodox snack?
Unorthodox snack?
Yeah. Like something that
Oh,
if you told people, they'd be like, "What's wrong with you?"
oh, whoa.
Is it the
Whoa.
microwave pizza?
I had the thought of like, is this it? Is this where my YouTube career ends? Is it today? I okay. I got. I've got a list of options.
Okay, I'm ready.
Peanut butter and jelly and bologna sandwiches.
That's disgusting. Carry on.
That's base level. That's like pregnant craving. You know.
Okay.
But then there. I'm, I'm having a tough time here. The, and then it was when I used to work for Walmart way back in the day. I'd go into the deli section, and they had these cold things of seafood salad.
Okay.
But then I would go and buy a box of chicken and a biscuit crackers,
Oh, yeah, okay.
and then scoop the seafood salad onto the crackers,
Uh-huh.
and then I would wash it down with 1 liter of Code Red Mountain Dew.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I could get behind that.
It was good until you're outside and you're sweating pushing carts.
Yeah. No, that sounds good.
And then, what was the nightmare I made ages ago? Oh, so I took canned tuna, made the regular mix for like, the mayonnaise and whatnot, and the mustard. And then I had an idea. I put peanut butter in it.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And mixed it all in. And it was it's okay. and I should mention all of this was before I started smoking pot.
Okay. That makes it a bit of a curveball, but I respect it. I would say aside from the first one, it doesn't sound bad. I can't get behind the bologna and jelly and peanut butter. I think that one would be a strong pass, but the other ones don't sound bad.
Oh man, like also what's your stance on crab substitute?
Crab substitute. Okay, so I've actually never had crab before.
Mm.
I don't know how I've gone this long without ever having crab, but I've never had it.
Imitation crab is a lot different than regular crab. Like it's got a different texture. It's like more malleable, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But buddy of mine, so they sell them in like essentially big bricks at my local supermarket, and so I'll buy one of those, and then I'll just eat it by itself.
I respect that. I respect that. So I am a huge fan of a very particular food that a lot of people think is very disgusting. But when I say I can put this with literally anything and enjoy it, I mean it. I love Spam.
That's not what I was anticipating.
So one of my favorite snacks. I like to slice Spam into thin slices, and then I'll cook it on a skillet, and then I'll divvy it up between two different sandwiches,
Hmm.
both of which lightly toasted, and then I'll have mayo on one piece of the toast, and then peanut butter on the other, and then on the peanut butter side, I'll sprinkle shredded cheese, and make a sandwich out of that, and it is so good. It's so good.
And grabbing a piece of paper to write this down.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's super basic and so easy to make, but it is like, I don't know why, but all of the flavors are just, oh, they mix so well.
So, hold on. Toast, spam. I'm going to put fried. And then you said peanut butter.
And then mayo, and then shredded cheese.
Then mayo, shredded cheese. Party people at home, stay tuned for my cooking show.
Yeah, it's such a dirty sandwich, but it's so good. It's so good.
Well, for some reason, I was anticipating you saying like the main ingredient would be like Nutella.
Oh, I should try that.
Well, no, like in place of spam. I thought you were gonna say like it had to do with Nutella.
Oh, okay.
I don't like Nutella.
Yeah, so in middle school, we had this competition. It was to see who could eat a brick of spam the fastest. And I ate not only mine first, I was the only person to finish it. And I ate a whole entire one of somebody else's as well because they didn't want to participate.
I used to competitively drink water, which in hindsight is incredibly dangerous. Because apparently you can get poisoned if you drink too much water too quickly.
Yeah.
And I wasn't aware of that. Thankfully, I've had no side effects. But I used to competitively just put away bottles of water.
Can you do that one thing where you like push it from the bottom and like it all just goes into your mouth at once?
See, I didn't have to. Like what I would do is that sort of like crushing it from the side.
Uh-huh.
But I'd do that efficiently enough that it would get all the water into my face.
Did I just hear a water bottle?
I dropped my weed pen.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to like demonstrate with just audio.
What?
And I was like, I was so ready for it.
Listen to me drown sitting up. Oh god. It's all right. Here's a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a strange talent?
I don't think so. A strange talent. Yeah, I don't think so. I wasn't born very talented.
I disagree, but it's fine.
Sorry, it probably sounds like I'm just like talking bad about myself, but no, I'm trying to think. Oh, a random talent. I think if I have to think this hard about it, the answer is probably no.
my special talent is overthinking.
Probably. Actually, yeah. If we're gonna go down that line, I have a bunch. You want to hear them? No, I'm just kidding.
And then after we're done recording here, you'll be like, "Did I overdo it? Did I mess this up?"
Yeah, it's like, well, sometimes like I argue with myself and no, just keep on going like that.
I'm not sure. Have you seen any of the previous episodes of this
Um,
here show?
I don't think so. I watched a little bit of the one with Tetra just to see like um what I was in store for.
Hmm. See, there's no plan here. There's no script.
Yeah, I like that though. I like that. Like I've never really had a bad experience doing any interviews, but I like it when they're different. Cuz like
I, I was worried you were about to say like, but today it's happening.
oh
It's happening right now.
yeah, this is terrible. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
This sucks.
Yeah, no, what I was gonna say is like, I've done interviews where it's like very, very simple and straightforward, like what made you start your channel and this, that, and the other. And like those are fun, don't get me wrong. Like there's definitely a place for that because like if somebody just wants like a quick like audio biography on Terra, like they can go and listen to that and then they get that, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like once that's already been done once, what is the point in doing it over and over and over again? Like there just isn't. Like it's just going to be the same answers back to back to back. There's no interest. Like the close followers, they're going to be like, "Oh, these are just the same questions. I already know the answers to these."
Yeah.
So I think like I've kind of gathered that this is more of just like a conversation. And I
Yeah.
like that. I like that because I just assume that people who listen, they're going to feel like they're just like either a fly on the wall or just like another friend in the room. And I
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, no, I think like I know you didn't ask for my advice, but like yeah, I would say just keep going with what you're doing because it's like I mean, I already explained my whole entire reasoning for why I like it.
Well, that's like this is purpose built like this,
Yeah.
and it's built out of the things I dislike about seeing people being interviewed. Like especially when it's like, say, like celebrities for like a new movie that's coming out that they're in.
Mhm.
What was it like being in this movie? Did you like working on this movie? And it's so like cut paste, because like not many actors are gonna go, yeah, I hated working on this film.
Yeah, it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
I remember
this sucked.
I remember on one of my previous interviews, they were like, "So what keeps you motivated to keep creating content?" And I just said so bluntly, I was like, "Money." like like what do you think the answer is, you know? Like I mean, yeah, I enjoy creating
Well,
content, but like I mean, I don't know.
yeah. Well, like the mission statement, at least for Demasked, is very simple in terms of what I want out of it,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. And the end goal is to make friends. So if I can do that in talking to somebody for 2 hours plus at a time, then I have accomplished my mission.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. Like I said, I mean, hopefully people don't listen to this and then think that I'm like like shitting on previous interviews or anything. But no, all I'm saying is like I like it when it's different because I don't know, like I can tell that this isn't like an interview per se. It's just like a conversation. And
But joke's on you, you've been giving a lot of personal information.
yeah. No, I mean, I like I get it though. Like I know that that's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like instead of having this what's the word, like linear conversation, it's like
Sure.
we can just kind of talk about whatever and like I mean I
Yeah.
can bounce questions back and like tell about how much of a failure I am when it comes to school and like I mean I don't know, it's fun.
Well, I mean, like even just in the time that we've spent talking here, we've covered a shitload of ground.
Yeah, I mean we talked about like video games, weed, like
High school, destroying a muffler, destroying phones. It's yeah. But well, that and it's always something that like, even nowadays, that question still itches at me. Even when it's somebody that I have no ties or way of contacting, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are channels out there that are so high up in the clouds that I, like, will possibly never see them or talk to them, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But
I mean, I disagree, but sure,
it,
sure. Anyway.
well, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's...
Yeah, it seems like maybe they're just on like a different plane, I guess, because like I'm trying to put myself like I still think that about a lot of creators that are larger than me. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know, like say I have a creator with like 5 million subscribers follow me on Twitter. I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, they're going to unfollow eventually, and they do.
Well, like, it's a question that I wonder about anybody on the YouTube platform, whether they have 1 subscriber or 1 million.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do they like when they're not recording something?
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I've always had like this model about myself where I try to be very similar both online and offline. I will say like my Twitter presence is definitely very inaccurate to how I am as a person, because I really like to stir the pot for no reason. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of people, they see my presence on Twitter and they're like, yeah, she's kind of like a slut or something like that.
Oh my
but like
God.
I'm not. Like I'm not. It's like I'm literally doing it just for Twitter likes. Like, and I'm open about it too. Like I'll even make a tweet saying like I am trying to get my interactions up. Like and
Well,
yeah.
Well, for a second there, I thought you were gonna double down with like, oh, I put out the appearance of being a slut. Then I thought you were gonna go, and you're absolutely right.
And I am no.
And you know it.
Yeah. No, that's funny. But yeah, no. Yeah, it is interesting to see what people are like off camera. Especially in a genre of like horror narration, because we can't really do a whole lot for like a personality side of things when you're just telling stories. And like I think that's one thing that I'm really happy that I've done. Like I'm not trying to say like I stand out in the narration community or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying
built
like
different.
I'm built different. I mean, I am, but like, so no, I'm kidding. Okay. Anyway,
I'm not like the other girls.
Okay. Anyway, I'm not gonna go there. But yeah.
So
I was thinking about just making some really bad jokes, but fuck, what was I gonna say?
I mean, you're welcome to.
No, that's okay. But no, I was going to say like, it is interesting to see what people are like off camera, because especially in like the narration community, we can't do a whole lot to really like show people who we are. So that's why I've always been very, very, very like active on Twitter, and a huge reason why I do a lot of live streams. Like, especially if people are active viewers of my channel, they know that a lot of my videos are like 2 hours in length, and sometimes I'll only have like an hour 45 or something of stories, and I'll just talk about random shit for like 15 minutes. Like I've always done that, and I think that's something that separates like what am I looking for? Like separates somebody from the pack is when there's some type of relatability or something that like people feel like they connect with.
Yeah, and there's especially in the like in specifically horror narration, I feel like while there are differences when it comes to like different channels, I feel like the tone is very similar. If that makes any sense. Everybody's trying to sound, creepy, and the monster was at my door and all this. But then when I talk to, to you or the lady, they're you're all very animated when there's no story to narrate, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very true. Yeah, no, it's like it's interesting too, just based off of voice, what can be interpreted about people. So like my narration style has always been very relaxed, kind of a bit I wouldn't say slower, but like paced out, and I kind of sometimes will like pause in my sentence and then pick it back up and keep going. Like that's just always been my style. And it's cool how like just based off of those small differences, like I might grow a totally different fan base than somebody else. So like I've always tried to drive my content towards like almost more like sleep meditation. Like I want people to click on my video and they know there's going to be no sound effects, oftentimes no
Just
music.
chill.
It's just I am just talking. It is going to be at the same volume the whole way through. If something is intense enough, I might kind of speed it up just a little tiny bit and maybe like have like a high whisper so that like it maybe sounds like I'm trying to hide from the monster in the story or something. But you'll never hear me start like yelling or adding sound effects or anything. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, because there isn't. But if I were to do that, I would grow a totally different audience. And all of a sudden doing the 2-hour-long videos wouldn't make sense, because people aren't, they're not looking for that like fall asleep to video. They're looking for that quick like rush,
All I'm saying is, if you do that, you suck, and I hate you.
Oh.
And just like completely alienate half of the horror community.
No, I think it's fascinating how there's so many different styles. There's so many different styles, and like just because two people do the same thing doesn't mean that they're doing it. It doesn't even mean that they're doing the same thing,
Yeah. Like even if it's the same story, because I've heard similar stories, or even the exact same story covered by multiple channels, but everybody has their own inflection and tone and how they set everything up.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. I don't know. I find it very fascinating. I've just always been into voiceover. So, it's cool. It's cool seeing something where like everything is done the same way but so differently.
That said, stay tuned, party people, for my ASMR video where I scream at you for roughly 45 minutes nonstop. Ah! I have toyed with the idea of doing an April Fool's ASMR video that is just like an hour and a half of me editing together an episode of Demasked. Like no talking, no describing what I'm doing, just like clicking followed by, where the fuck is that file?
Yeah, I used to do these streams where I'd read live. And people were always like, wow, you make a lot of mistakes while reading. And I'm like, yeah, that's because I'm a high school dropout. I don't know how to read. Like,
I can't read.
It's so funny. Like, people will give me crap for my pronunciations, and it's like, trust me, I could look it up and I'll forget it. Like, there's no point. Just deal with it.
Forgetting it as it's happening.
I remember in one story, the main character's name was Penelope, and like, I know the name Penelope. I mean, I do.
Penelope.
But yeah, for some reason I said Penelope.
See, that's a problem that I ran into, at least on Twitter. When you read somebody's name, you don't know the correct inflection, and people mess up my name too. Call call me Freeze Man. It's not.
Freeze Man.
No.
Where is my super suit? No, okay.
But I think it was with Lady Spookaria that the first time I ever saw her name, like Lady Spookaria.
Yeah. I was so confused too. I was like, is it Spookaria? Is it Spookaria? Is it Spookaria? Like, what is it?
I'll just wait for them to tell me.
Yeah, I remember I did this video. It was like top 20 underrated narrators. And I had her as I think I had her as number 20, but it was only because she was like very new at the time. That's the only reason. Otherwise, she would have been a lot higher up. But yeah, I was like, fuck, how do I pronounce it? And I was too nervous to just like message her and ask her.
See, here's what you do. The next time April 1st rolls around, you make a top 20 overrated narrators, and then you put the same people on there.
It's like as soon as people start saying like, yeah, you know, Terra's not a bad person. She's helped people out here and there. It's like, all right, let me reverse this really quick. I am not going to have people talk good about me. Not on my Christian Minecraft server.
Make sure to like and subscribe to me, only me.
I love playing villain.
Going full heel turn. Now, what advice? So you've mentioned that you've been on the YouTube platform at least for going on 6 years, right?
Yep. Yeah, 6.5.
So say there's a party person at home who's thinking about starting their own channel. What advice would you give them?
3 words. Upload and experiment.
3 words. Don't do it.
It's not worth it.
Just give up.
Yeah, no, I think it's all about like just doing it. I know that's like I wish I had a more helpful answer, but I think the way I could best explain it so like my channel got demonetized back in 2018 and I had to completely start over. A lot of people were telling me like Slumber, you're not going to do it a second time. Like the odds are not in your favor. Like they're not in your favor even like on succeeding a first time. Like it's not going to happen a second time. And I was like, yeah, it's not odds though. Like I don't know. Like look at my channel. And I just posted, my last video was my 500th video. I think it's fair enough to say that if you've uploaded 500 videos and you've been experimenting and you've been capitalizing on things that you know work and you haven't found success, like I would say that's less likely. Like if you go through my channel, you can very clearly see times where my channel has, I wouldn't say died off, but it started to kind of like downslide. And then you'll see like some major drastic change. And then all of a sudden things are doing good again. And then you'll see that I continue doing that until it doesn't work anymore. That's how I've always ran my channel. So like you can't go into YouTube being like, what are the odds? Because the odds don't matter. Like they literally don't matter. Like YouTube isn't as much of a luck game as people make it out to be. It's like if you are uploading content and the content is even just half-ass, let's not even say good, just half-ass, but you're doing it consistently and you are experimenting, and when something works, you keep doing it, like you will find success 100%. Like if things aren't working out, that's when you start trying out different thumbnails, you start trying out different titles, you start doing tags differently, maybe experiment with the video length. Right now, currently, YouTube caters towards watch time. So the longer your video is, the better it does, usually. That also is dependent on what kind of content you're making. Like, if you are uploading gaming videos and you can chop a 2-hour session into 30 minutes, that'll probably perform a lot better than having a 2-hour video with a lot of dead space. However, in something like narration, where there's not much to do for editing, it's not really all that crazy difficult. Like, you want to milk that watch time. Like, these are just things that I've observed over time. And when I see something that works, I capitalize it. It's not like I'm like, oh, that worked. All right, well, let's see if the next one works. It's like, no, I'm just going to keep on doing it until it doesn't work anymore. And then when it doesn't work anymore, I'm going to find something else that does.
Yeah.
Like, I promise you, like, if you follow that remedy on YouTube, success is inevitable. Even currently. So right now, like, I'm not going to make this into like a complaint session. My outlook on this has gotten a lot better from where it was even just a few days ago. Right now, my channel is kind of on a downward slope. It's not going very well. I'm losing hundreds of subscribers almost daily. But, like, I'm not really that stressed about it because, like, I know what works. And even if I, like, took a step away from narration to do something else, I still know how YouTube works. Like, I can very easily just make another channel and just do something else and still be successful with it because YouTube is not that complicated. It's very simple. Here's a major piece of advice. I tweeted this out once and people thought I was joking, but I wasn't. I was being completely serious. Let's say I wanted to make a Dead by Daylight channel. Okay? First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look up Dead by Daylight on YouTube. I'm going to see what those top recommendations are. Okay? If I'm seeing that tutorials are currently popular, guess what I'm going to do? Tutorials.
Call of Duty montage. Got it.
Yeah, no, but it's not that difficult. Like, just do what works. And like, yeah, there's gonna be people that are like, oh, you copied so and so. It's like, I don't see anything wrong with that. Just do it in your own way. It's like, I'm trying to think of a good example. I don't want to name drop because I don't know if people are like comfortable with that, but I think it's well known that I'd say everything in good faith. Like, Being Scared created the Scary Stories Told in the Rain series. 100% undebatable. He created that, okay? If somebody was to start making content like Scary Stories Told in the Rain, well, you're ripping off Being Scared. Point blank simple. Like, that's not cool, you know? But if it's very obvious that people like that, maybe instead of putting music in your video, just add rain sounds. But like, don't capitalize on it in the title because, like, you know, then yeah, like, you're kind of stepping on somebody else's toes, and that's not cool. That's not cool. But like, if that's the style that people like, why not do it too?
Or at least do your own interpretation.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I guess with the example that I used, there's not very many different interpretations to be had. So maybe I could have came up with a better example, but
Scary Stories, but it's raining slightly harder.
Yeah. It's funny. But yeah, it's like, just see what works and just start doing it. But make sure you're doing it right. Like, don't make enemies. Like, you know, do it respectfully. And like I said, YouTube is not that difficult.
Well, that and I think a question that kind of gets overlooked when in terms of consistently putting out videos that you want to put out, I think the question that's overlooked is, are you having fun?
Yes. Yeah, there's definitely some aspect to be had about how much you're enjoying it, because I completely believe in the fact that, like, if somebody wants to make a YouTube channel to try and make a living off of it, I am all for that. I am very supportive of that, actually. I think we live in a time where saying like, I want to do YouTube for a living is completely viable. But but you have to have the drive for it, and you have to be at least somewhat interested in what you're doing. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen.
So you're saying my Fortnite montages are not going to work out?
I don't know, maybe.
Or excuse me, my Fortnite montages of other people playing.
Oh, that'll definitely work. YouTube loves pushing those.
And then I have to film it with my cell phone.
Yeah, just film like your computer screen.
Put it on an old CRT. Then film that.
Record it all with a Hapog.
Oh god. Use like the 2006 version of Fraps.
Use a Dazzle.
Get your music from LimeWire.
Scars of Life.
Or Kazaa. Well, what was that one song that was really popular on YouTube? Android Porn, I think it was called.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I feel like that makes this conversation better.
Yeah. But how do I word it? So, have you personally achieved what... I know that certain people's goals are ever reaching upward, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
You know, making money on YouTube, becoming rich and famous, that sort of thing.
Sure.
So what was your goal starting?
So when I made my channel, I just wanted to hold the roster spot on the team that I was in. That was it. But it slowly turned into, I just enjoyed creating content. And I was told that, you only got paid like $1 per 1,000 views, which is false, by the way. So I never really thought there was much of a point in monetizing my channel. So I actually just created content for fun. I want to say I had like 150 videos or something like that, and I had like 12,000 subs. And then I finally was like, maybe I should apply for monetization. That might not be a bad idea. So I did, and I got put on like a waiting list because at the time it took forever. So I think it was like 6 months later I heard back saying that I got approved, and I still wasn't even really monetizing my videos because I just didn't care. But I decided to monetize one, and it was a deep web video, and I want to say this video got like 300,000 views or something like that. It was the first one I had ever monetized. And I don't think I'm allowed to like talk about specifics, and I mean it'd be kind of messed up too anyway. But I'll just word it this way. This video by itself made me more money than my full-time job at the time made me.
That's fair.
So I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna try to do this full time. So I just quit my job on the spot. No 2 weeks notice or anything. To be completely fair though, it wasn't like it wasn't a very good job anyway. It was just factory work.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just around here it's common. It's not that hard to get a job in it. Or at least it wasn't at the time. Sure. It just wasn't for me. Okay? Nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't for me. So I decided to like just pursue YouTube, and it just worked. So then I was like, okay, well now my goal is to pay my bills. And that's just been the goal ever since. I've never really put too much focus on like, oh, is this particular video doing well? Like how much subscribers am I gaining? How close to 100K am I? I've never really hyper-focused any of that. It's always just been about, like, finding stories that I enjoy, sharing them with the world, and then being able to put food in my mouth. Like...
and pot in your system.
Yeah. Preferably, yeah. Like...
in that order.
I think that's... I think a lot of people wouldn't really like that answer. But it's just, it's the truth. Like, I just want to be able to survive. Like, my goal with YouTube isn't to be, like, Mrs. Famous or anything like that. It's just I just want to be able to pay my bills and survive. And if I entertain people along the way and I'm doing something that makes me happy, those are bonuses.
So, what you're saying is the main takeaway here is that you're only in it for the fame and recognition, and screw anybody else trying to reach stars.
Yeah, definitely.
burn it down, burn it all down. It's time to alienate that fan base. But Sterling, not now. Please don't claw my leg. But I don't know. I'm just here to have a laugh.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's cool. I think I wish I wasn't wired this way. It's like I don't know.
So you are built different.
No. But what I was going to say is like there definitely are a lot of people that create channels just cuz they want to like make friends or just because they want to make videos or whatever. And I think that's cool. I really do. I really, really, really do. And I respect it. And I respect it a ton. It's just anytime I hear like that somebody has a channel, I just automatically assume that like their intentions are to like make a living with it. I don't know why my brain jumps to that. It just does.
Well, I think it's because that's sort of the mainstay goal of the majority of people on this platform.
Yeah, I think it's fair enough to say that.
Yeah. And that's not to say that everybody goes about it the same way, because some people are more, what's the term, vicious about it, if that makes sense.
Oh, definitely.
But if it's like the way I see it, especially for like Demasked, I'm doing this for fun, but if I do end up doing this for a living, like if it does end up making any sort of income, cool, fine.
Yeah, and that's a healthy mindset. A very healthy mindset. I would say that's very similar to how mine was for a very, very, very long time. You know, eventually I just kind of saw a like an opportunity, and I decided to go for it.
Well, and by the sound of it, it's yielded results, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been fortunate, for sure.
Good. Like, well, what's the phrase? Like, you know, I'll go back to my previous point. If at the end of the day I've made friends, then I've accomplished my mission.
Aw.
Well, because that was the goal from the get-go. Hey, I want to know what some people on YouTube who are already here are like.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this. I want to say this is episode 53 of Demasked. And I think it, like the way I see it, I've made 52 friends plus one today.
Yeah. No, I think that's cool. Yeah, like I definitely never expected to make friends doing this, but I have, and it's so cool.
So,
Like
I was gonna say, well, that's too bad. You just made one.
yeah, no, like I became friends with this one guy through like YouTube and Twitter and like gaming online and stuff. And like at least once a year, I like either he comes to where I live or I go out to Los Angeles where he lives, and we just hang out for a couple weeks. Like it's cool that like, I mean, obviously not since the pandemic, but it's cool that like doing this internet stuff has done something like that. But like he's not even the only example. Like I've made a lot of friends doing this. And
Yeah.
like I don't consider them online friends. I consider them just friends. I've also just met a lot of them in person as well at this point. But it's fascinating. It's very cool. I was watching this debate. Was it like last week or something? And they were talking about like, would you rather live in the past or now? And I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, I love simplicity. I really do. Like I would kind of like to live in a world without cell phones and without all this other stuff. Like I'd like to live in a world with more personal connection for sure. But we live in a time where you can like make a career and make lifelong friendships sitting on your computer chair in your bedroom. And that is fascinating to me.
Well, how do I word it? I think I would like to be in the here and now, because otherwise I wouldn't be the person that I am now.
Sure.
And who I am now is the person I would like to continue to be, if that makes sense.
No, that makes a ton of sense, and it resonates with me very well.
Well, like, and well, it's funny because one of my old jobs, my manager was very, what's the word, anti-social media, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm using that phrase a lot, if that makes sense, but it, how do I word it? I worked with a bunch of people that I didn't want to know, if that makes sense. I did not care to talk to.
Yeah.
And he walked into the break room one day. He's like, "Oh, everybody's on their phone. Nobody talks to each other anymore." And I turned to the guy next to me. I'm like, "Do we have anything in common? Anything?" And he goes, "Probably not." And I'm like, "See?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "I'll try, but I don't think I'm going to get anywhere." And I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, no, sorry, carry on.
Oh, sorry, but there's also another side to that coin, which I believe works not only for friends but like relationships, because a lot of that, middle school, high school, like dating BS is very. It feels like it's based off of movies from like the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But even if you go and get a boyfriend or girlfriend, you don't have to share the same interests, but at least understand why they like the thing that they like.
Yeah.
And that goes with friends. Like, I have friends that I have nothing in common with, but I at least attempt to, like, okay, why do they like this thing so much?
Yeah. I think one thing that's always interested me about humanity, not that I'm better than anybody, if anything I'm maybe even worse, but no, I'm just kidding.
And
but
heading to Twitter, quote, "I'm better than everyone," says Slumber reads.
No, what I was gonna say is like it's always like fascinated me, but not in a good way. How people will judge others for their interests or for things that matter to them, because like I sit there and I think about what are my interests, what are things that I like to do, I like to play video games. I like to tell scary stories. I can keep going. I have hobbies. Very into like Magic the Gathering, shit like that. And like I'll actually use that as an example. Somebody might hear that and they're like, "Oh, you're a nerd." Like that's stupid. Why would you be into Magic the Gathering? Like that's so dumb. And then I'll like look at their interests and maybe they're into cars or something. I have no interest in cars. I don't care. I don't
Same
understand why people are into cars. In my opinion, it's like I just want something that can get me to the grocery store or something that can like bring me on a long road trip or something, just something reliable. And
Yeah.
but even though that's my take on it, I'm not going to like shit on somebody for being into cars. It's like if that's what makes them happy, if that's what sustains them, I think that's awesome. And it's like it doesn't take much for me to just sit there and think about like, oh, they probably feel the same way about this piece of metal that I do about this piece of cardboard. And it doesn't make either one like less valid or worse than the other. It's like we just have two different interests, but we feel the same way about our interests. So therefore, I understand why you like what you do, even though I don't have any interest in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's totally fine. It's totally fine to like cars, you weirdos. No. No. Oh God.
But yeah, it's like they'll act like they're better than you because their interest is more like common or whatever. But I just think that's so lame. Like just like what you like, and if you like cars, cool. Or if you like I don't know, anything, like cool. I'm glad. I'm glad that people have interests because it takes all different kinds. It really does. If everybody on this world was the exact same, it'd be very boring. It'd be very boring.
Oh yeah.
Like it would just be a major competition between everybody, and everybody would argue with each other about who's better at whatever it is that the whole entire world has decided that we're all into. Um, it'd be so boring.
Well, that and I don't understand like the concept of gatekeeping. Like you'd think you'd be happy to find somebody who shares interests with you, but for somebody to turn around and be like, "Well, you don't like that thing as much as I like that thing."
Yeah, there's so much of that too. God, it's ridiculous. I have so many examples, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to
That
say.
said,
any.
I am the best talk show host in history.
Yeah, I'm the best.
Jimmy Kimmel can bite me.
I'm the best. I'm the best voiceover artist by a landslide. Nobody comes close. No.
I'm the only. Oh, that gives me an idea for a commercial. Come on down for the only talk show worth watching. Oh yeah, that'd alienate a whole demographic right there.
I have a question for you.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about egos?
Egos?
Mm-hmm.
Like the personal concept of self-worth as it pertains to the people around you?
Yes.
I think that how do I word it? There's a healthy amount of ego, but it's for yourself.
Yes.
But if you're like I mentioned earlier, I'm comfortable with the person that I am. Right?
Yep.
But at no point did I say I am the best at being me. Kneel before Zod, you know. But no, it's the concept of ego is a slippery slope, and I believe it is healthy to have a slight ego in terms of self-confidence.
Yes.
but it's very easy to overstep into being an asshole.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. Yeah. No, my answer is like the exact same. Yeah. No, I
Like,
only say that because I've seen like a lot of people like talk about how egos are bad no matter what. They're just bad, and it's like I don't agree with that. I feel like there is definitely a healthy amount of ego to some extent, but like there's definitely a time to like call it back a little bit.
I I think ego can be healthy as long as you are willing to accept not only the idea that you might be wrong, but being self-aware enough to maybe take a step back and go, maybe I'm overdoing it.
Yeah, I think it especially becomes an issue when you start like causing issues for other people.
Yep.
I think that's usually the callback point in my personal opinion.
Well, like even like say a base level is like a girl hitting on a guy at a bar and he's like, I'm the coolest. It's like that's your no. the the fact that you had to say that you're the coolest makes you the least cool person.
Yeah, it's like when people say that they're an alpha male.
Or they call themselves a badass. I'm like, you
Yeah.
lost me.
I think my favorite one in current days when guys are like, I'm an alpha male. And it's like, oh, are you? How so? Let me know. I want to hear this. Because I doubt it.
Well, I also like the fact that the concept of the alpha male got like disproven.
Yeah.
And so they're like, I'm an alpha male. I'm like, oh cool, you don't exist. Nice.
Yeah, and then you've got like some people they'll be like, "Well, I'm a beta male." And it's like, "Well, it's not any better." Like, why is this a thing?
Or what's that new one? The sigma male?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what that is.
I'm not sure either. I had it explained to me once and I don't remember.
The best I can describe it, at least staring at it from outside the window, is like somebody who works only for their own, how do I put it, their own self, not improvement, but self-improvement in terms of monetary value,
Okay.
if that makes sense. It's like the alpha male is like, I'm the coolest, I get all the chicks, and then like apparently the sigma is like, I work and I save my money. I'm the best because I save my money. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm fine with being Fresman.
Yeah. No, I think any time that people have to like throw this label in front of themselves, well, actually, no. I'm trying to think of a way to word this where it like represents how I feel about this. I don't think I'm capable. I just think when like I don't know, like when somebody says that they're an alpha male, I just find it really funny.
For a very real second, I thought you were just going to double down and go, as the truest alpha, I am the strongest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not trying to. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna just.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna. I was gonna make a joke about like I'm definitely not overcompensating for anything. So.
Yeah, like, yeah. So there, how do I? So you know how there's that concept of the person calling themselves the alpha.
Uh-huh.
There, in my mind, there is a signifier that you can easily see here in Oregon, and it's a bumper sticker that is very popular that tells me that you might be a douchebag. And it's a big old gun, like a rifle, like an AR-15, and then it has the word Oregonian.
Okay.
Every time I see that, I'm like, ugh. And the thing is, personally, I like guns.
Oh,
They're
I
cool.
love
I'm like,
guns.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the minute I see that sticker, just the sticker, I'm like, ah.
Yeah, people always assume that like I'm gonna be against guns or something. And it's like, okay, I was raised on a gun range teaching grown men how to shoot. Like from the age of like 8, I was teaching grown men how to shoot a shotgun. I am also a trans woman who like fears for her safety. I am not the one trying to take your guns away. Trust me. I love guns.
Now, the question is, what kind?
Ooh. I think my favorite guns to shoot are probably just like shotguns. Shotguns are fun.
I have a very specific niche of guns
Oh,
that
if we're
I
getting
prefer.
specific. Okay, okay. All right, I'm ready.
Oh yeah. I love like older style guns. I'm not a big fan of like the newer kind of techie ones. I like an old fashioned double barreled shotgun.
Uh-huh.
And then I also like old style revolvers, like a Colt single action army. Because like I love how simple that design is in terms of maintenance and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, unfortunately haven't gotten the chance to shoot a double barrel. I would love to so much. But all the ones I find, they're charging too much for them.
Yeah, they can get expensive.
I found a Colt single action army on sale, but it was in a different state, and the amount of paperwork and like fees I would have to pay would like instantly double the price.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
One of these days.
trying to think of like what my favorite gun would be. It's a tough question. I just like shooting guns. I guess
I mean, I also
I'm not
love-
really sad if as long as I'm like, yeah.
I mean, I do love ridiculous guns. Like, I got to fire a boot pistol.
Okay.
Not a Derringer, but like a little. I want to say it was like 22 or 25 caliber. The bullets were itty bitty.
Yeah, 22s are pretty cutesy.
Well, the boot pistol didn't even fit in my hand because I've got big hands. And like I had to like hold it with like my top like pointer and middle fingers and then try to not get hit by the slide. I want that gun.
Yeah, double barrels are cool. I remember as a little kid, I accidentally shot both barrels at the same time on a 12 gauge
Oof.
and knocked myself right on my ass. My grandpa was like, "Yeah, I don't know what you expected there, bud."
Well, I've joked with my past roommates that I'm like, I want to get one and then not get shells, only do slugs. Just for home defense.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Now, do you own any firearms?
Not currently.
Me either. I do have a sword though. Does that count? Can I shoot a sword?
Oh, definitely.
I also have a grenade.
Just put it into like a potato launcher or something.
What, the grenade or the sword?
Wait, you have a grenade?
Both? What?
Oh.
Uh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there you go.
It it's a hollowed out dud, but I like bringing it up in conversation as if it is a live grenade.
That's funny.
I
Imagine
I want
like a home intruder and you just like run out on them holding a grenade. It's like, I'm fucking crazy. I'll do it.
you know, I have planned for that. So that this I'm holding the grenade now, but which is a weird thing to say. But I want to get the lever and the pin for it. And then my idea for home defense was to pull the pin and hold the lever down and just like stand there holding the pin. Just, hey, what's the plan? What are you gonna do now? What's next? Are you gonna put my TV back, please?
Sorry, I'm just like mentally imagining it.
Large man in a mask. Just, hey.
That's funny.
Where are you going with my Xbox? Please put it back. Although I will say my alternative to home defense was to buy a chainsaw.
A chainsaw? Oh yeah, no, that'd be terrifying.
Well, it's so I had this plan all the way back when I lived with roommates, and my roommate goes, "Well, why a chainsaw?" And I brought up I asked him this question: Are you going to continue to rob a house if there's a very angry man with a chainsaw running at you?
Yeah, I think even just the sound of a chainsaw starting up is terrifying. Like I don't know if that's like a universal thing or just a phobia of mine, but like the sound of a chainsaw makes me very uneasy.
Why specifically a chainsaw?
I don't know, they're terrifying.
There is have you ever seen Army of Darkness?
That rings a bell. I want to say no, but for some reason the name, I gotta look this up.
It's the third Evil Dead movie.
Nope, I haven't seen it, no.
Dang it. Well, there's a scene in which a chainsaw is used very threateningly.
Yeah, I've never seen any of the Evil Dead movies. Unfortunately.
Well, you know what? I now know what we're gonna do if we ever meet in person.
Watch the Evil Dead movies?
Oh yeah,
I'm down.
Gonna marathon it. Get some weed. Get some microwave pizzas.
I'd be tempted.
Install...
I'd be tempted to try that. It's just I don't like ranch.
That's fair. That's, you know what? Fine.
You know what's funny? People call me a picky eater, but there's literally only 5 foods that I will not eat, and it's ketchup, mustard, relish, baked beans, and ranch.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do not like those 5 foods. But the thing is that they're common.
Huh.
Other than that, though, I'm very adventurous. Like, I'm down to eat really anything.
I despise celery. It tastes like copper to me.
I like celery. But also fair enough. I can definitely see why.
And also black licorice.
I love black licorice. But also I understand why. Black licorice is very polarizing.
That it is the worst jelly bean flavor.
I'm not sure what it is about black licorice. I just like it. I think it's because so like growing up, we would host like gun shoots every Saturday, and the place very close to where we would do this at, they always had black licorice on sale. So, I'd usually like ask my dad for like $1, and then I'd go buy some.
Now, Terra, I know we've only just started talking, but there's something you should know about me.
Uh-oh.
I love designing specifically stupid questions.
Uh-huh.
And so you're like, yeah, we host gun shoots, and my gut, like my knee-jerk reaction was to ask, what do you do there?
Well,
and then immediately followed by me to myself to go and just shut up. Just don't ask.
well, we shoot guns.
No.
Yeah.
What? Who could have seen this coming?
The future has been foretold. Or the past, I mean. The past has been foretold.
Do you persist in this doomed world you've created? Now, Terra, we're closing in on 3 hours here.
Yeah, I was just looking at the timer on my recording. I was like, oh wow, it's been almost 3 hours. Holy shit.
Now, I will be the first to say that this has been an absolute blast talking to you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And I think here in a second we'll wrap this up, but I do have a final question to ask you before we get out of here.
Uh-oh.
If asked, would you be willing to come back on as a return guest?
Definitely.
No.
Not a chance.
Ew.
I'm sorry. Pretty girls have better things to do. I'm just kidding.
Oh, God, it's high school all over again. I'm back there now.
Oh my God, I finally get to have my mean girl phase.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, am I Lindsay Lohan, or how does this work?
Well, no, I'm just kidding.
So
let me tell you how this is gonna go. I'm just kidding.
Oh no. Here's how you're gonna edit this episode. Oh, that is oh yeah. What,
no, I'd definitely be down.
Well, I mean, the ultimate answer to that question would just be ew.
Yeah, no elaborating, just yuck.
Oh.
Do like the little finger flick thing? Ew.
As if.
Are you kidding me right now?
Oh God, it's high school all over again. See, real quick, so like through all of elementary school and like part of middle school, I was like the really chubby kid.
Uh-huh.
And my parents would be like, just go talk to people, you'll make friends. And I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. And I'm like, ugh, you're fat and weird. I'm like, okay. But now that I'm older and it's considered a dad bod, I feel like I've come out on top.
Nice.
I've won this argument.
Yeah, my presence while I was in school was always just I don't know, I was always just friends with everybody. I didn't really get bullied, and I definitely didn't bully. I think I just kind of hard existed.
Is that a Dark Souls build?
Yes.
Hard existence.
Hard existing.
It's right above deprived. but with that, Terra, this has been an absolute joy. Thank you so much for coming on. And I hope to, I mean, hell, I hope to continue talking to you even off of, recording.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for inviting me. This was fun.
Yeah. But do you have a video on your channel that you are particularly proud of?
Yes.
That you would like featured?
Yes. I have this video called They're Not Things, They're Gargoyles. It was my Halloween special for 2019. The story was actually written by my dad, and I featured like a ton of people from the horror community. I think there was like 20 different people in that video. It's definitely the video I am most proud of on my whole channel, for sure.
Just a sec, writing that down. You said it's called They're Not Things, They're Gargoyles?
Yes.
All right. There. That's not an E, but that's okay. Gargoyle. I hope future me can understand what the hell I've just written.
I can link it to you.
Good luck, future me. But yeah, I will definitely, that will be in the description below, along with your YouTube link and Twitter. But with that, this has been Demasked. My name is Fresman, and I will see all of you next time.